Why are the Democrats handing Trump dictatorial powers to destroy and bankrupt his political opposition? Tomorrow, congressional Democrats will join Republicans to vote on a bill that will allow the Treasury Department to strip any nonprofit that they accuse of supporting terrorism of their tax-exempt status, and they can do this without any evidence. Losing their 501c3 status would prevent nonprofits from collecting tax-deductible donations and lead banks to consider freezing or closing their accounts while they'd be hit with huge tax bills. Basically, it would be a strategy to completely shut down their operations. Not to mention, the Treasury doesn't even need to articulate a reason or provide any evidence that the group is actually supporting terrorism. They could presumably just do it based on things they've said. Just think about the implications of this. In a world where anyone who criticizes Israel's genocide is called a supporter of terrorism, that slander would now be turned into an actual weapon to target and shut down pro-Palestinian groups. It could easily be used to prosecute any group that's critical of the US government, especially its foreign policy, given how loosely the word terrorism is used in this country. This bill, which 52 Democrats voted for alongside all but one Republican, would give these powers to the incoming Trump administration on day one. So far, over 150 civil society groups have expressed their opposition to this bill in an open letter to Congress. Congress initially tried to fast-track this bill and almost got the two-thirds majority required for fast-track bills with the help of several right-leaning and pro-Israel Democrats. Tomorrow, they're set to vote on it again, but this time only with a simple majority, meaning it's very likely to pass. It's already incredibly illegal to support terrorist organizations. You can go to jail for this, and there's a legal standard to prove you're actually supporting terrorism materially. Not to mention, any nonprofit can lose its status if it does anything illegal. So all this begs the question, why does the executive branch even need such sweeping powers in the first place? But what's really mind-boggling about all this is not even 2 weeks ago, the Democrats were comparing Trump to Hitler. Now, they're giving the man they called Hitler the power to crush his political opposition under the guise of opposing terrorism. Donald Trump has repeatedly stated his intention to get revenge on his political enemies if he's reelected. He's also pledged to have pro-Palestine activists, which he's repeatedly tried to associate with terrorism, deported. Other groups at risk could include pro-immigrant groups. During his first administration, Trump was considering designating Mexican drug cartels as terrorist groups. But as we've seen repeatedly, Trump and many of the other right-wing members of his new cabinet have repeatedly claimed that undocumented immigrants coming to America are agents of drug cartels. This association could be used to target nonprofits that help undocumented immigrants. But even groups that aren't directly involved in organizing protests or helping immigrants could be attacked under this bill just for speaking out in defense of those that do. This could include journalists, human rights organizations, and legal aid groups. In fact, there's no telling who could be affected by this because of how ambiguous and sweeping the language of the bill is. If there's any lesson to be learned here, it's that the Democrats were never going to save us. All of that talk about how dangerous Trump is, and now, not even 2 weeks after he gets elected, a group of Democrats end up being the ones trying to hand him the weapons to crush dissent and free speech.